And hello there, everybody. Big Paulie coming to you, and we start another calendar week of the HTFL on this June 22nd as I record this of 2020. Game-wise, we are deep into the third week of the HTFL regular season. We're going to play the seventh game. Six more games this week, then we'll play four more of this week before the 4th of July coming up. Then I'm going to take the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of July off, and we'll be back to play the 4th week on July 6th. Today we have Miami traveling to St. Louis to play the Maroons, which are a combination of St. Louis Cardinals and St. Louis Rams. Miami is the 10-point favorite, but Las Vegas will always tell you beware of the home underdog. We're at the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis, where the Rams used to play. It was called the TWA Dome for a little bit. St. Louis will have the built-in home field advantage. Miami did win the toss and will receive. Don Shula on the sidelines for Miami. In real life, he just passed away a few short weeks ago. Dick Vermeil doing likewise for the Cardinals. Dan Marino will quarterback Miami. Kurt Warner will do likewise for St. Louis. We will get this game underway. Miami in the white squares, St. Louis in the red, kind of mimicking the St. Louis Cardinals colors of old. Ted Ginn Jr. back to receive for Miami, and this winds up being a touchback, so it'll be a 1st and 10 for Miami at the 20 as we start this game. Zonka and Nathan will be your two running backs as we go through the Miami offensive starting lineup. Landry Clayton will be your wideouts. Clay at tight end. Marino at quarterback. Webb, Little, Langer, Sims, and Long your offensive line. The 1st and 10 from the 20 now. Marino quickly on the run. You didn't see him do that too often in his NFL career, and he gains 5 yards on the scramble. Minert made the tackle for the Cardinals. Setting up the St. Louis defense, Carter and Quinn are your defensive ends. Brockers and Walker, the defensive tackles. EJ Jr., Minert, and Stallings, your linebackers. Worley and Fisher at corner. Wilson and Hill at your safety positions. I play as the home team always, so I play as St. Louis in this game. And it's now a 2nd and 5 from the 25. It's Marino, and it's Clayton on the catch for a 24-yard gain. Game reminding me that he had a 313-yard game, Dan Marino did, against Arizona last week. So they played the Arizona Cardinals, and now they're playing a team that is partially the St. Louis Cardinals. And right now, a 1st and 10 at the 49. Give to Zonka. Zonka did not gain anything. In fact, he lost a yard. Brockers on the tackle. They'll bring Lamar Miller and Nat Moore into the game for Miami as they go to a 3 wide receiver set. Sets up 2nd and 11 from their own 48. A throw and a catch to Nat Moore. A gain of 10. Worley makes the stop for St. Louis. First, it's now a 3rd and 1 at the Maroon 42. There I go saying that. And short by a foot is Miller. Fisher comes up and makes the hit. And it'll be a 4th down and inches. Decision time for Miami. They're going to keep Marino on the field and go for it. He throws and it's incomplete. So St. Louis gets the ball at the 41 to start their game. And we will set before calling a play here. I believe that was the replay. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Anderson and Edwards are your running backs. Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, your wide receivers. Jackie Smith at tight end. Pace, Dobler, DeMarco, Tinnerman, and Deerdorf are your offensive linemen. And Kurt Warner is your quarterback. A few guys who went on and were on television as commentators on that lineup. We'll give it to Otis Anderson, also known as O.J. Anderson, and he will go off tackle right. A gain of 4 yards. Deerdorf provided a key block. Thomas makes the stop for Miami. And setting up the Miami defense for you, Taylor and Wake, your defensive ends, Cameron Wake, Baumhauer and Manny Fernandez, your defensive tackles, Cox, Thomas, Kim Bocamper will be your linebackers. Manderson and Surtain your corners. Anderson and Jake Scott are your safeties. 2nd and 6 from the 45 with 11:18 to go in the first quarter. We're just getting underway. Get cozy, folks. We'll be here a while. And we'll go pitch right, O.J. Anderson. And a gain of 2 before Wake gets to him. And that is now a 3rd and 4 situation for St. Louis. And Miami and St. Louis played in the last Thanksgiving game held outside of Detroit and Dallas before they had Thanksgiving night games, and it was a slaughter. It was Miami pounding St. Louis that day 55-14. It's probably why they just stopped playing games on Thanksgiving for a long time outside of Detroit and Dallas. Medium slant to Isaac Bruce. And it's caught, 6-yard gain. Randall on the stop, and it's a first down. We'll go to Edwards, trap left, Sid Edwards. No gain on that play. Thomas picks him up, and that was no gain at all. 2nd and 10, we'll go to Jackie Smith on a short hitch. They go underneath to Sid Edwards instead, and he picks up 10. And Edwards had a tremendous game against Jacksonville last week, 5 catches for 109 yards. Now it's a 1st and 10 from the 37. Trap right, Otis Anderson. And he's got nice yardage, make it 7 before Dick Anderson came up. So we had a couple of Andersons involved in that play. As you can see here, he played out of Colorado. Was on that perfect team Miami had in 72. We'll go to Bruce on a medium fly on 2nd and 3. Not there, incomplete. Bit of a wild throw there by Kurt Warner. You see there, he's out of northern Iowa. And, of course, led that 99 team out of nowhere, the greatest show on turf, and they won St. Louis's only world championship to date. Of course, nobody plays in St. Louis anymore, so it might be a while before they win another world championship. Anyway, 3rd and 3. We'll go Jackie Smith on the short hitch again. And that's caught. Gain of 10. And Warner had a great game against the Jaguars. Threw for 398, 26 for 44, a pick and a touchdown. Right now, 1st and 10 at the 20 of Miami as they enter the Dolphin red zone. Back to Otis Anderson on a trap. They like running to the tight end side, the right side. And it's a pickup of 4 yards. How about Torrey Holt on a medium slant on 2nd down and 6 from the 16. That time it's not there, incomplete. They'll go 4 wide and put a man in motion when you need 6 yards. So we will look for, let's see here, Randall. Good rush and an incomplete pass.
Offense, number 81, 5-yard penalty.
And that penalty will be declined, so it'll be a 4th down and 6. Field goal try for Zerline from 33. And he's on it. Kick is good. And St. Louis has taken a 3-0 lead. Ginn Jr. back deep again for Miami, and it's another touchback. Some excellent kickoffs here by Zerline. 1st and 10 at the 20 now for Miami. They give to Miller, who picks up 4 yards. 2nd and 6 from the 24. Surprised not using Zonka all that much because he has 7 touchdowns rushing coming into this game. 7 touchdowns overall. I believe it was 7 rushing. Might be. He might have had a pass catch thrown in there or 2. Have to double check. Anyway, 2nd and 6 from the 24. And that was another give to Miller. Counter play, kind of like a counter tray play, the play that the Redskins made famous back in the 80s. Pick up a 13 yards, and it's 1st and 10 at the 37. Give to Miller. Miller, well, shows you how much I know. Miller's making some nice gains. He's got 4 carries for 26 yards. And he picks up another 8 there. Minert on the tackle at the 46. So now it's 2nd and 2. They give to Miller again, and Miller with another head of steam picks up 13 yards. And Fisher brought him down there at the 42. So Miami has crossed the Cardinal 50, and it's now 1st and 10 at St. Louis's 42. Give to Miller, and Miller picks up 9 yards. Fisher makes the stop at the 33. 2nd and 1 from there. And a marker down. Hold on,
Ball
folks.
start.
We'll let the referee
Offense,
explain it.
Number 83, 5-yard penalty.
Mark Clayton was a little too jumpy, and that makes it 2nd and 6 now from the 38 with 1:44 left in the opening quarter. The give to Miller again. Miller getting a lot of carries early on, and he gains 7 yards. Larry Zonka entering the game, so let's take a look at his stats, and let's see how many touchdowns he has had so far. 7 touchdowns rushing, 48 for 216 coming into this game, so I just wanted to double check that. 1st and 10 at the 31. Will they give it to Zonk? They do not. It's a play fake. It goes to
Holding.
Clay.
Offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty.
But they get flagged for holding, interestingly enough. 51 seconds left at the end of the first quarter. It's now 1st and 20 at the 41 of St. Louis. So Miami having trouble getting on track. And a pick by Wilson. His first pick of the year. He returns at 17 yards. And St. Louis in business at the 40 of Miami. What did I tell you about underdogs at home? They always seem to play a little better. In fact, we're going to go along and we're going to try to get the score right here. A bomb to the post, Isaac Bruce. Instead, Warner scrambles and he picks up 3, and that will end the first quarter. A bit of a surprise here early on. The Maroons 3, the Dolphins nothing to start the second quarter. 3-0 St. Louis. 2nd and 7 for the 37 is the next to play here for the Maroons. Will go sweep to the right, Otis Anderson. That's a nice gain, and that's a pickup of 11. Bocamper on the stop for Miami. They go double tight end now and bring Marsh in as one of the tight ends. It'll be a screen to Sid Edwards, who was good out of the backfield last week against Jacksonville, and that's another nice gain, 13 yards. Brian Cox, as you'll see here, out of Western Illinois. Always had a bit of an attitude on him when he was on the field. Wouldn't take any guff off of any of the opposing players and was always there as an enforcer and called upon to do so more often than not. Kind of like Bill Laimbeer on the Detroit Pistons back in the day. You know, a good player you would want on your team, but if you were a fan of another team, you always thought that he was bleep. Okay, 1st and 10, ball at the 13 for St. Louis. I'll leave the bleep up to you. Gain of 4 yards for, let's see here, Otis Anderson, and he's down to the 9. Just laughing a little bit on how this game has not gone according to plan. It reminded me of the game that I did Saturday with Cincinnati and Cleveland, where Cleveland looked like a prohibitive favorite, and then Cincinnati just got hot. Otis Anderson, trap right. That's a first down. Tackled at the 2 by Jake Scott. And good St. Louis not having too much trouble with this no-name defense. They don't know their names. Trap right, Otis Anderson. And that's a touchdown. The Maroons pad their lead to 9-0. Here's the point after by Zerline. It is good. And it's 10-0 St. Louis. You gotta have a sense of humor to do these games, I guess. Jin Jr. back for Miami, and it's another touchback, another great kickoff. So Miami will try to get on track, and with Dan Marino at quarterback, they could get hot quickly themselves. A 1st and 10 from the 20. Here's Marino. He throws. It's incomplete,
Intentional
but
grounding. Offense.
oh, they're going to get
Number
Marino
13,
for intentional
10-yard
grounding, and he's
penalty,
not happy
loss of
about it.
down.
Getting right in the head referee's face, and whoever the head referee is saying, "Cool it, Sonny." 2nd and 20, ball to 10. Marino throws deep again, incomplete.
Grabbing the face mask. Defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Quinn gets called for face mask. So St. Louis gives it right back on a first down to boot. Ball to 25. Screenplay, and that's incomplete. He was looking for Tony Nathan. 2nd and 10, ball to 25. And that's a throw and a catch. Nat Moore, who picks up 13 yards. Nat Moore had a big day in 77 for Miami against the St. Louis Cardinals in that 55-14 win on Thanksgiving Day. 1st and 10, ball to 38. Marker down.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense.
Going against the
Number
Maroons.
94, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
They get Quinn again, 5 yards. And it's now 1st and 5 at the 43 for Miami. Marino. Off the fingertips of Nathan. Couldn't hang on. It's now 2nd and 5 at the 43. Marker down again.
Ball start. Offense. Number 66, 5-yard penalty.
This time, Miami taketh away from what St. Louis giveth, and Little gets called for a 5-yard penalty. 2nd and 10 now at the 38. A little dump off to Miller, and Miller picks up 7 yards. 3rd and 3 at the 45 now. Incomplete pass. Nathan dropped it. That's 2 drops on him for today, says Dave Koch Sports and this Action PC 2020 game engine. It's now 4th and 3, and St. Louis might get the ball back. Let's see. And the ball is down at the 22 after a 33-yard punt by Larry Seipel, who doubled on the 72 Dolphins as a defensive back, if my memory serves. We'll go to Edwards, and we will go trap left. Try to throw everybody off guard. I pick up a 3 yards on that play. Baumhauer on the stop. St. Louis has really come out blazing here in this first half. Otis Anderson trap right. And nothing there. Loss of a yard. We'll go 3 wide. 1 wide receiver, not 2. We'll go to Randall. Medium hitch, Sonny Randall. Where are you, Sonny? Oh, Cameron Wake got to Warner. And Warner tweaked his knee. But he will stay in the game. Donnie Jones, back to punt for St. Louis. Their first punt of the game, I do believe. And Jin makes the fair catch. Caught at the 42, and a punt was also 42 yards. 1st and 10, ball at the Miami 42, 7:23 left to the half. The give is to Nathan. Nathan picks up a little bit, but not much. No gain, they're going to say. 2nd and 10 now, same spot, 42-yard line. 58 yards from pay dirt. And this give to Nathan picks up a little more, 16 yards. Hill gets to him at the 43. I've got to say it's 15 yards, not 16. 1st and 10, ball at the 43. An incomplete pass. Nathan appears to be hurt and will leave the game. And Lamar Miller will come in a 3 wide set. 2nd and 10, ball at the 43. Incomplete pass. They were looking to screen it to Miller, but Miller was not open. 3rd and 10. Ball to Maroon 43. I nearly said Cardinal again. 3-yard gain for Miller, and Minert pushed him out. Miller at 75, 7 rushes, 55 yards, 2 catches for 10. 4th and 7 at the 40. I'm going to watch for a fake. And I should have been watching the ball. It was out of bounds at the 3. Nice punt by Seipel, and he punted away from Az Hakim. So with 4:52 left at halftime, it's 1st and 10 for the Maroons. And you really said Cardinals again on the 3. Off tackle right, O.J. Anderson. Now again, the animation's going to not really show what happens here. We'll just have to depend on whatever it is that happens, and the play is moving very slowly. We won't know for sure what happened for a while. Come back tomorrow and find out the result of this play. We still don't know what happened, and we still don't know what happened. Okay, folks. I don't know what to do here. Yeah, I tried hitting the button and that didn't work. We can tell you Miami played a 4-3 and they had 2 blitzers, but we don't we don't know the result of this play. Oh goodness. Did Anderson score from 97 yards away? He did! That's exactly what happened. He scored from 97 yards out. And it's 16-0. Yeah, a 97-yard touchdown run. He did a Tony Dorsett on him. Here's the point after. And it's good. And it's 17-0. St. Louis on fire at the moment. Here's the kickoff. Another touchback. Yes. And it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 20. The give to Nathan. Nathan picks up a first down and more. But there's another penalty. It's coming back.
Number 66, 10-yard penalty.
And it's 1st and 20 at the 10. Reno having an off day as he throws an incompletion. Greer batted it down. 2nd and 20 at the 10. You're just tuning in and you're seeing the score. It is not a typo. St. Louis is leading 17-0. 3rd and 20 now. St. Louis did beat Miami. St. Louis did beat Jacksonville last week, so they are no slouches. But I don't think anybody predicted that they would be ahead 17-0. That 3rd down pass to Miller was incomplete. St. Louis should get it on a punt and probably has a chance to add to their lead even more. And Hakeem caught it at the 43, returns it to the 49. Langer makes the tackle for St. Louis. Okay, we'll give it to Otis Anderson. He had the 97-yard touchdown run, and he gains 5 on that play. Anderson now, the stat line is pretty tremendous. 11 carries for 142 yards. We'll go Smith on a slant. Jackie Smith. And Jackie Smith with a big play, 32 yards. Madison injured for the Dolphins, the cornerback. They'll bring Davis in, Quante Davis. And it's now a 1st and 10 St. Louis at the 14. So St. Louis, hungry for another score, will go medium fly to Torrey Holt. That's good, and that's 6. 23-0 St. Louis. The point after will make it 24, and he gets it. Zerline puts it through. So it's going to be 1st and 10. When Miami gets the ball, we got the kickoff to do first. It's 24-0 St. Louis. And the punt, again, a touchback. So the kickoff team for St. Louis not having to do a lot of work at all. So Marino now down 24-0. I don't think Don Shula had a game plan for this. 1st and 10 at the 20. Nathan up the middle. Gain of 2. St. Louis does not want to call a timeout. 2nd and 8. They find Nathan again. This time an 11-yard catch. And it's the first down for the Dolphins. 2:28 to go. Nathan takes the handoff. He loses a yard that time. And it's now 2nd and 11 from the 32. They'll get a playoff before the warning. And it's incomplete. 2:10 left. 3rd and 11 at the 32. And that is caught by Nat Moore for 9 yards, but we get to the 2-minute warning. 24-0 St. Louis, if you can believe that score. Okay, 4th and 2. Here's the punt. Seipel. Punt should go inside the 15. We're going to let Hakeem return it. He doesn't return it for much, 5 yards. Now, Brewston 10 at the 15. St. Louis will get the ball to start the second half, so I have a feeling the Maroons will just play it safe and run a sweep here with Anderson. Unless they get a big play, then it might open it up. It's a gain of 8 yards, and Anderson now with 150 yards. They're going to hurry to the line. They're not going to call a timeout, but we will hurry to the line. Slant to Torrey Holt on 2nd and 2. Nearly intercepted by Madison. It's going to be 3rd and 2. And we're going to look for that medium out. And we're going to look for Randall, Sonny Randall. Warner scrambles. He's got the first down, and he picks up 10. And with a $1:20 to go to halftime, St. Louis bangs a timeout. They have 2 left. The Dolphins also have 2 left. We're going to have Jackie Smith up the middle on a medium hitch. Bless his heart. He picks up 18 yards. And they will go no huddle. Maroons will go no huddle, and they'll medium out it to Isaac Bruce with a $1:13 on the clock. And that's caught. 10-yard gain, but it's just short of the first down with 54 seconds left, and St. Louis will bang the second of their 3 timeouts, and they will have 1 left with 54 ticks left to go. We'll go medium out to Sonny Randall. Oh, a sack by Zach Thomas. With 51 seconds left and a 3rd and 4, we'll do a draw to Otis Anderson. And the draw is there for a big gain. And Otis Anderson has another touchdown. Unbelievable. That was from 43 yards out, so he has runs of 97, 43, and 2. He's got 3 touchdowns. He's got 13 carries and 195 yards in a half. Here's the point after. It's good, and it's 31-0 St. Louis. I don't think anybody would have believed that was a possible score at halftime. Ginn Jr. back deep for Miami, and that is another kick for a touchback. So the kicker, Zerline, I do believe, not knowing offhand, he is 5 for 5 as far as getting the kicks into the end zone. Great job for him in this first half. Well, 28 seconds left and 2 timeouts for Miami. Let's see what they do. Nathan up the middle, a little to the right side. He picks up 5. And Miami looks like they're conceding here. No, they're going to run one more play. Zonka up the middle. Oh, not up the middle. He goes right side for 8. St. Louis will not call a timeout. Miami will not be able to get a playoff. And what a first half for the St. Louis Maroons. Okay, back for the third quarter of this game. The Maroons could move to within a game of Washington if this score holds up, and would be in a tie for Miami, although they would own the tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker for the playoff spots would be head-to-head. Terry Metcalf, we saw Eric Metcalf on Saturday, back deep for the Cardinals, and this is the first kickoff they have received all game. And it's 2 yards deep in the end zone. Metcalf's a little fidgety. He's going to return it, and he gets past the 20, so it was a good thing that he did. Gain of 33 on the return out to the 31. John Offerdahl made the tackle for the Dolphins. We'll go to Sid Edwards, trap right. I'm sure Dick Vermeil's already thinking, okay, who do I bring in reserves in the fourth quarter? But first things first, we got to get through this third. A loss of a yard for Edwards on that first play. Cox on the tackle for Miami. St. Louis with 309 total yards of offense. Miami with 165. Marino 7 for 19, 77 yards. Warner 8 out of 12 for 113. But the big story here is the rushing of Otis Anderson. 18 carries, 208 yards as a team. They are averaging 11.6 on the ground with 3 touchdowns. We're going to go to Otis. See if he can break 200 on the day. He gets 5 yards closer to that. He's now at 198. Trying to think if we have had a 200-yard rusher yet in HTFL play. My thinking offhand without looking is that we haven't. We're going to go on 3rd and 6. We're going to go a medium fly to Isaac Bruce. And it's caught. A gain of 17, and the Maroons pick up a first down. St. Louis will try to run the ball as much as possible, but they're not going to be beyond the pass or two on the passing situations. Otis Anderson, like I said, 2 yards short of 200, and he will pick it up right there. Gain of 12 to get him to 210 on the day, which, even though we're in the third week of the season, I believe would be an HTFL record should this hold. 1st and 10, ball to 36. Sweep right, Otis Anderson. Why not just keep giving the ball? He's red hot right now. Gain of 2, Manny Fernandez. Not the wrestler, but the ball player that preceded him. There was a Manny Fernandez who was a professional wrestler back in the 70s and 80s. And being in Florida, I would know that. That's a 2nd and 8 now after a gain of 2 by Anderson. At the Dolphin 34. We're going to go a long hitch to Isaac Bruce and try to catch him napping. Off the hands of Bruce, he could not hold on to it. 3rd and 8. We'll go Jackie Smith on a medium hitch. Instead, they go underneath to Anderson, who's a pickup of 7 yards. 4th and 1 at the 27. No need to get cute. We'll bring Zerline in to kick a 44-yarder. And he's still doing a good job with the kicking. It's 34-0 Maroons. Gin back deep. See if he can return this one. He cannot. It's a touchback. So again, that's 6 now touchbacks for the kickoff team for the Maroons. Dolphins have it now. They trail 34-0. 10:39 left, third quarter. 1st and 10 at the 20. Marino. And that's going to be a huge play. A fumble. Oh, when things are going good, things are going good. But we have a replay here.
Upon further review, the runner was down by contact.
Okay, what happened was this. Marino threw it to Moore, and he picked up 67 yards on the play. Worley yanked the ball out of his hands on the tackle. There was a wild scramble for the ball. Looked like St. Louis had it, but they ruled that he was down by contact, that he got the ball down before the fumble. And in HTFL play, you could challenge anything that isn't a score or a turnover. Miami did not challenge it. It was a replay initiated by the booth. And Miami keeps possession at the Maroon 13-yard line, so they can get on the board here. 1st and 10. Incomplete. It's now 2nd and 10 from the 13. Another incomplete pass, so 2 in a row for Marino. Marino 8 out of 22 for 144 and a pick. He's not having a good day. Shades of his game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where the Miami got beat 62-7 and wound up being Marino's last game as a pro. 3rd and 10 from the 13. No, it was not a touchdown. They went to Landry, and it looked like he had it for all the world, but he dropped it. So Miami will kick, and they get the field goal. Carpenter makes it, so it's now 34-3. I don't think Miami's going to try an onside kick this early with 25 minutes still left to go in the game. We'll just do a normal return, and Terry Metcalf will bring it out from a yard deep. And it's another nice return for Terry Metcalf, 38 yards, moving it out to the 37. Otis Anderson, the man of the hour right now, 212 yards. We're going to go to him, trap right. Nothing there. Manny Fernandez blasts him. No game. Making it 2nd and 10. We're going to go Edwards on a screen pass on 2nd and 10. That's good, but only for 4 yards. Zach Thomas got to him. 3rd and 6 now from the 41. We're going to go Randall, and we're going to go medium hitch. That's picked off. It's going to be returned, and it's going to be a touchdown. Madison with the interception. And now Miami with a little head of steam here. It's 34-9. Here's the point after. Good. 34-10. Metcalf back deep again for the Cardinals. Could tide be turning here? And a nice return for him. 38 yards out to the 42. I'm sorry. No, it was 38 yards out to the 42. I thought it may have been 42 yards out to the 38, but I'm mistaken. We'll go Holt on a medium slant just for a change. And Holt's got it. And Holt's got a big play. Well, you don't get bigger than that, a touchdown. And just like that, St. Louis scores. Here's the point after. It's 41-10. 7:46 left in the third quarter. A very busy third quarter. Jin Jr. back deep for the Dolphins. Another touchback. 7:46 left, third quarter. Here's Marino on 1st and 10 from the 20. A throw and a pick. Larry Wilson today with his 2nd interception. He's owning Dan Marino like he's a landlord. 2 interceptions on the day, and St. Louis again in good field position at the 11 of Miami. Otis Anderson, off tackle right, will do. And it's a pickup of 2. We'll go Sid Edwards, El Cid, trap right. Nothing there. Loss of 2, so we're back to the 11. 3rd and 10. We'll go Jackie Smith, medium hitch. Incomplete. Again, take no chances, kick the field goal. Here's Zerline from 28, and he's good. And it's 44-10. We've had a lot of action in this third quarter. This is the 5th score we have had in the third quarter. 3 of them were field goals. Jin Jr. back deep. Another touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20. Zonka for 5 yards. And it's now 2nd and 5 at the 25 with 5:58 left in the third quarter. Nathan picks up 6 yards and a 1st down. Rushing the ball, Miami not doing too badly. 17 carries, 99 yards for a 5.8 clip. Of course, St. Louis has been unconscious running the ball, 24 for 227. 1st and 10, ball to 31. It's an end around, and this one goes to Landry. Landry picks up 6, but a fumble picked up by Nathan of Miami. So it's 2nd and 4 at the 37. Miami has a case of fumbleitis at the moment. Screen to Nathan for a 1st down and a pickup of 4. Nathan now 6 carries, 27 yards, 2 catches for 15. 1st and 10 at the 41. And that is to Moore. More. How do you like him? And that's a pickup of 25. He's at 124 yards today. 1st and 10, ball to 34 of St. Louis. But we have a marker down. Hold everything.
Start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
5-yard penalty is on Larry Little, the Hall of Fame offensive lineman, playing on one of the guard spots. First and 15 now at the 39. Marino, a quick throw to Moore. Clayton was hurt but will remain in the game. Worley just made his 10th tackle of the day. 2nd and 8, ball at the 32. Another deep throw and another incompletion. 3rd and 8 from the 32. Miami trailing 44-10. Incomplete pass. They were looking for Tony Nathan there, and they will try a field goal this late in the third quarter, down 34 points. Don't ask me why. Carpenter will try from 49. It's good. And it's now 44-13. Bluebirds come out at St. Louis, although they should be happy they only held them to 3 points. That potent Miami offense. And it's Metcalf back deep. And a nice return for Terry Metcalf, but it's going to come back. Worley called for holding. We have had 26 points in this third quarter on 6 scores. Minute 5 to go. 1st and 10 from the 5. Otis Anderson dive play. And he picks up 5 yards. He's at 2:19 on the day. 58 seconds left in the third quarter. We're going to pitch it right to Sid Edwards. That's a nice gain. 9 yards. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. A very busy third quarter. Your score, St. Louis 44, Miami 13. Back with you to start this fourth quarter. Big Paulie coming to you. The very happy Edward Jones Dome at the moment. Miami, we're going to be looking for the number of the truck that hit them for a good week as they are being slaughtered 44-13 by the Maroons of St. Louis, who look to go to 2-1 in this young HTFL season. That will tie them for second place in the lower East Division along with Miami. Washington 3-0 right now. Off tackle right on 1st and 10 from the 19 for O.J. Anderson. You might see the reserves come in for a bit for St. Louis, but I think they want to finish this possession. 2nd and 3, long slant to Torrey Holt. And it drops off of Holt's hands. Thomas was injured. He's holding his ribs, and he will be out a few plays. 3rd and 3 now. Short hitch to Torrey Holt. We'll go right back to him. And that is caught by Jackie Smith for a 6-yard gain. We'll go Anderson, trap right. Back to the line, and that's all for Anderson as Beaucamper got a hold of him. How about Anderson on a screen? He's only had 1 catch so far today, and now he still has 1. Warner 13 for 22, 205, but they haven't been dependent on his throwing at all. It's been all the running game. And we're going to go to Isaac Bruce on 3rd and 10 on a medium hitch. Marker down. Taylor got to him on a sack.
Defense, number 99, 5-yard penalty.
The sack will not count as Taylor was offsides, and that's who got to him and sacked him. 3rd and 5 at the 37 now. We'll go Edwards as I check my USB headset and make sure I'm talking to you. I am. We'll go screen to Edwards. Edwards has a first down, and that's good for 10 yards. 10th play of the drive already here for St. Louis. We'll go Anderson trap left. A fumble recovered by Miami, but that's going to be reviewed.
Ruling on the field stands.
Miami gets the ball back. And Chris Chambers is going to come into the game at wideout for Miami and be a fourth wide receiver. 1st and 10 at the 48. A throw underneath and a catch to Landry. 5-yard gain before Light got to him. St. Louis with 6 defensive backs: Worley, Fisher, Wilson, Hill, Light, and Stovall. 2nd and 5 at the 43. And that is close to the first. Zonka straight ahead. He has been a non-factor in this game. 3rd and 1. Zonka, in fact, has been taken out of the game. They bring Lamar Iller in, or I was going to give him the stat line. He hasn't gotten on the board in terms of touchdowns today after getting 7 the first 2 games. 3rd and 1 at the 39. They get in Marino's face. He throws a short hitch to Miller, but it falls incomplete. 4th and 1 at 39. You're going to go for it, and why wouldn't you here with 10-11 to go? To Miller. Miller is going to be short of the first down. Miami loses it on downs, and in come the reserves for St. Louis. See, they'll bring Neil Lomax in at quarterback. He will wear number 15 out of Portland State, and they will spell Otis Anderson the rest of this game and bring in, let's see here, they'll bring Terry Metcalf in to finish up, and he will wear number 21. We'll give it right to him, trap to the right. They've been using Metcalf on kick returns, and he goes 2 yards. Sid Edwards is going to sit out the rest of the game if I can find somebody to block who is of his caliber. And we are going to go with an H-back, Lance Kendricks. He will wear number 89 on your screen, and he's out of Wisconsin. They'll use him in the backfield and probably not use him as a runner all that much. Back to Metcalf on 2nd and 8. That's a gain of 2 yards. So Lomax will throw here on 3rd and 6. And they'll look for Torrey Holt on the medium out. That's a gain of 24. Fernandez was hurt on the play, and he will be fine. Stay in the game. Neil Lomax, some of you might remember as the quarterback in a famous brawl-filled game at Soldier Field in Chicago, who got body slammed by William the Refrigerator Perry. And that was pretty much the end of his career. Off tackle right, Terry Metcalf. 2-yard gain. Lomax set several records at Portland State as a quarterback in the early 80s. We'll go medium fly to Torrey Holt. And a gain of 15. Crowd in St. Louis chanting 50, 50, 50. They want 50 on Miami. Wonder how many of these people in the stands remember that 1977 game. Here's a trap right to Metcalf. Metcalf picks up 11. And it's now 1st and goal at the 6 as this onslaught is continuing. We'll go off tackle right, Terry Metcalf. This time he stopped at the line. Bo Camper. No gain. How about a sweep right with Lomax? That's a gain of 4. Down to the 2 for a 1st and 10. MacArthur Lane's going to come into the game at number 42, and he will play in the backfield. Give everybody a little bit of a look here. Trap right with him. Not there. No gain. And crowd will boo a little bit as Zerline comes in to try one from 19. It'll be his 4th field goal of the day. If he gets it, he gets it. And it's 47-13. We have 3:57 left in this game, mercifully, and Jin Jr. back deep, and it's another touchback. They have had, let's see, that was like the 10th kickoff they've had this game, and they've all been touchbacks. Anyway, 1st and 10 at the 20. Marino still in there. Bless him. A sack by Carter, and that's a loss of 10. It's now 2nd and 20 from the 10. Marino Long throw to Moore. Moore's got it. That's 28 yards. Stat sheet will show a different story than what this result turned out to be. As Moore has 7 catches for 159, 3:03 to go. But all St. Louis on the scoreboard. Incompletion intended for Chambers, Hill on the coverage. Now a 2nd and 10 from the 38. That was a throw to Landry, and he picks up 12. First and 12, ball exactly on the midfield stripe with 2:11 to go. Another long throw and a catch, but we have a marker down and a fumble recovered by St. Louis.
Defense. Number 8, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So the penalty negates the turnover. There was a fumble, was recovered by St. Louis, but they ruled that the turnover took place after the penalty, so St. Louis loses the chance at getting the ball, and Miami retains possession. And after all that, first and 10 at the Maroon 26. Incomplete pass.
Holding, offense, number 66, 10-yard
Larry Little
penalty.
gets called again. And we reached a 2-minute warning. Can this game end any faster? St. Louis 47, Miami 13. First and 20 now at the 36 of St. Louis. Marino still in there. Hasn't been pulled from the game. Nearly picked off by Worley, and that falled incomplete. 2nd and 20 at the 36. And this looks like a busted play of some sort. But instead, no, there was a designed run by Marino, and he gains 9. Haven't seen him move that fast since he played college football at the University of Pittsburgh. 3rd and 11, ball to 27. End around play, which is kind of odd. No gain by Carter, no gain by Nat Moore. Carter crushed him at the 27. And Miami calls timeout, 2 remaining. St. Louis still has all of their 3. 4th and 11 at the 27. And it's thrown, caught, a fumble, recovered by Wilson. And he returned it 34 yards. So Wilson has 3 turnovers all by himself today. And that's exactly the number of times Miami has thrown it over. He's gotten 2 interceptions and recovered a fumble. Well, if you're St. Louis here, there's nothing left to do. And we're just going to kneel on the ball 3 times. We're going to slow it down. We're going to kneel on it again and get the hell out of here. And that'll be it. St. Louis 47, Miami 13. An outcome I don't think anybody was predicting. St. Louis with an offensive explosion, 510 yards. Miami with a very respectable 367, although Marino definitely had an off day, 16 for 37 for 258. And 3 turnovers. Larry Wilson recovered them all. 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. There's the scoring summary, and it was all St. Louis. They had the first 34 points of the game. Marino did not have any touchdowns. Larry Zonka was held off the board after 7 touchdowns rushing the first 2 games, and it was 47-13 St. Louis, who now moves to 2-1 on the year. And a very disappointing loss from Miami, I would think, and they fall to 2-1. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we don't have any other videos coming to you tonight. We'll have Tampa Bay traveling to New Orleans. Tampa Bay off to an auspicious 0-2 start. Jameis Winston quarterbacking them. Then we go to Houston for Jacksonville and Houston in further lower South Division play. And that'll be Wednesday night. Thursday night, we'll bring you Detroit at Minnesota. Friday night, Chicago at Green Bay. Talk about traditional rivals. Woo, that'll be a big one. And then we'll top it all off on Saturday night with Kansas City playing Denver. And then the week prior to the 4th of July, we'll finish week 3, take a few days vacation, and then start after the 4th with week number 4. Again, your final score A stunner here in St. Louis, 47-13, St. Louis over Miami. This has been Big Paulie. We wish you all well, wherever you are, wherever you are, whenever you see this, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow night, we hope. Bye bye for now, everybody.